Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Laura Schlosser at the Marion County School Board office. Ms. Schlosser is the superintendent for the Marion County school system. And there's a lot going on that we want to talk about, particularly here at Marion County. But first, let's talk about some dates, because that's always important to people.
Right.
And not too long ago, we had you on here because there was quite a bit of snow in Lebanon and Marion County. And so I think you said we have about 4 days that has been missed because of weather so far this year?
It has. And because of that, the way our calendar reads is on that fourth day, we'll do a makeup day on President's Day. The nice thing is that we did have an opportunity to try out our first non-traditional school day, and that went well. We did ask our parents and our teachers to do a survey, so we actually have had an opportunity to find out what worked well and what we need to improve on. And what I did, Gary, is I took those survey results, I emailed those to our principals and all of our central office staff. I asked everyone to read every single comment, and then what we have done now is a reflection on what worked well, what did not work well, and then what we're going to do differently to move forward and improve that process. Because like I said before, it's our first time trying this. I think overall the results were, we want to keep doing this. It was a good day, but there are some things that we've got to work on.
So with the non-traditional day, was it able to count towards one of the days? I know it had something to do with attendance and all that kind of stuff, whether it could actually count.
What we have to do is we have to turn in our documentation to the Department of Education, and then they will determine whether or not that day counts.
Okay. So right now there's 4 days that have been missed, but one of them could be knocked off from this non-traditional, depending on what their results are. Okay. And then the other one we're going to make up on February 15th, which is President's Day.
Right. And as most folks have been watching the weather, they are calling for snow on Monday and Tuesday. But I don't think it's going to be anything like what we had the last time.
Right.
But it'll probably be enough to make sure we're up early to make sure the roads are safe.
Right. So what was the overall impression with the non-traditional day, since that was the first one? Just kind of like an overview. Were people satisfied with it or not satisfied? What do you think?
Overall, and we actually asked folks, were you satisfied? And our results, I don't have the exact percentage in front of me, but the overall results were that they liked it and they wanted to continue to do that. Some things that happened were, maybe some kids forgot their password, and we had kids at school. And there were things like, parents said, if I'm at work during the day and I'm helping my kids in the evening, I can't call and get help from the staff, and I understand that too. So there were things like that, and just being honest, there were things that, we need to do a better job of. And it could be anything from labeling, what materials are for day one and what material were for day two. So, just some little things. I don't think it was anything major that we can't fix.
Right.
But I think overall it went well. Our staff was very pleased that they had the day. All of our staff came in. That's part of the requirement, because our staff, they are contracted per day. So they came in and actually worked on days 3 and 4. So we're just going to do a little bit at a time. Hopefully we don't have a lot of bad weather and it's not even an issue.
Right.
Just very glad to have that opportunity.
Yeah, and it's a growing experience. Because it's something new, something to grow, and we always learn when we have an opportunity to grow.
Right.
So we also want to talk about, in February, there are lots of dates for activities that are coming up for the school, but also for the public to come and take part. And I think you have something with early childhood coming up, right?
Yes, we do. We have our Over the Big Top preschool registration. We did our first preschool Over the Big Top last year, so we're going to follow in that tradition. It went very well. That's actually going to be on February the 13th. And we are inviting all of our children who think that they want to head into preschool. Some of those could be from eligibility, and some could just be that tuition based. That'll be at Glasscock Elementary. It'll be from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. There'll be lots of activities for your child, also activities for the parents, just to understand what it is kids need to know and be able to do to be ready for school. We'll be giving out a lot of information. There'll be a lot of fun stuff and a lot of learning opportunities. So we're very excited about that again.
And it's a Saturday, so and the parents are encouraged, obviously, to come.
Absolutely. Yes.
with the kids for all that kind of stuff. Now, also you have something coming up that's the public's invited to with a forum to kind of determine some of the usage of the facilities. Is that correct?
Well, what we're doing is, as most folks probably been following, we did our district facility plan a while back. And when you look at our facility needs, you have about $50 million of unmet need. But we only have about $4 million worth of bonding potential.
Yeah.
And we have some issues in our schools, especially just maybe space, like we're out of space. We could do more preschool, but we have no more rooms. The cafeteria at Lebanon Elementary is the same size as the cafeteria at Calvary. They're feeding twice as many kids. There's some renovation kinds of things that we need to look at. But, you know, that's just what I see. You know, what we want to do is we want to find out, what does the general public, what's their thoughts and beliefs on where it is that we want our facilities to be in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. We're in a situation now with our bonding potential that you're only looking at being able to maintain just the maintenance of the building, which would be roof and HVAC. We got to have kids dry, we got to have our air or our heat on. And, you know, just the roof, a roof can be $1 million. You know, when we think about our roofs, it's a lot different.
Yeah, fortunately.
Yeah, thank goodness, exactly. But, you know, when you're talking about a building that's 80,000 square feet, you know, and you start talking about a roofing project. So we just want to hear what the community has to say. We're excited to hear that. You know, what's their thoughts? What would be the first project that they would want? You know, what do our buildings look like compared to the buildings in surrounding counties maybe that have newer facilities? You know, what does the library look like in a new facility versus what a library looks like that is actually a classroom that has been turned into a library? So just a community forum, it gives people an opportunity to speak freely about where they want to see our schools in the future.
And everyone's invited to take part in that.
And that is at Lebanon Elementary.
Okay, Lebanon Elementary on the 18th. At what time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. So come on out for that forum and give your input as well. And also, will there be an opportunity, if they don't want to actually stand up and say something, they can write down and make comments as well?
You know what, I hadn't thought about that, but that's a very good idea.
So, so people can, a lot of people, as you know, more people are more brave when they don't have to actually stand up and do something, which is good and bad.
I agree.
Yes. So that's going to be on the 18th. You also have some people from the state coming to the county as well for a program, right?
On February the 17th, the Department of Education is asked to use our Next Gen Lab as the host site for a webcast for the entire state of Kentucky to address technology around the state. So it'll be a wonderful opportunity to showcase our renovated Next Gen Lab. Our kids will be showcased. And obviously, we're not just talking about the kids that are in the room taking classes, we're also talking about the children who were a part of that project-based learning.
Right.
So they're going to be there. You know, I'll have an opportunity to talk about our 6 big dreams, and then they'll be talking about things about the future of what technology looks like around the state. You know, and it could be anything from bandwidth to how we are implementing technology. So the Associate Commissioner, David Cook, will be here from the department along with some of his staff. I think it'll be a great opportunity for Marion County and for folks around the state to see what we're doing. I'm not sure if folks are aware, but we actually there's 173 school districts. And obviously, you can't visit 173 school districts, but you know, with a webcast now and with technology, it's a pretty awesome opportunity to be able to watch a webcast and see what's going on in other districts. And so hopefully, you know, maybe there'll be some folks share with us what they're doing, and hopefully what we're doing will maybe excite them so other kids will have the same opportunity.
Absolutely. And we've been airing the school board meeting that actually showed off when you had the ribbon cutting for the Next Gen Lab, and it's very impressive what is being done there. And all the students who were involved in putting it all together, that's pretty cool too. Speaking of that, you also had the ribbon cutting at the new library that we talked about before, and the artwork for those students as well that's hanging around there. So there's a lot of student involvement in the various different
Well, I think anytime the kids are involved, or the community, I think that's what it's all about. It's about giving everybody an opportunity to be a part of making Marion County a great school district and a great community to live in. And if anybody hasn't had an opportunity to drop by the high school to see the artwork, I think they would be very pleased. And it's not I wouldn't think it's traditional, would you? Some of the art pieces.
Yeah, no, it's very unique, which is good.
We're excited about that, and so we would love for more people to see that. And it was such a success. We want other children to have that same opportunity, so we're going to continue this, and it'll be a traditional, ongoing. So the artwork will float.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So we're excited about that.
That's great. That's great. So any other dates that we need to be mentioning?
One more date I want to bring up is February the 19th is actually kindergarten registration. So for those children that'll be heading into kindergarten next year, we're going to have that on February the 19th at each elementary school, and we're going to use a time frame of 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Okay.
That way we can make sure that for the parents who are at work, we don't have to ask them to take off. They can actually come in and we'll have those evening hours for them. So excited about getting our kids in kindergarten as well.
Absolutely. So a lot going on with the Marion County school system, a lot of dates coming up in February. We also want to reiterate to mark your calendar for April the 14th,
Right.
which is the community
Right.
summit, right?
Right, that'll be, and that's when we're going to unveil our dream bus, and very excited about that as well. And I think the community will be too, and hopefully, again, another example of project-based learning. Our kids were a part of designing. They're currently making the cabinets for the bus, and they're also even involved in the design of what the outside of the bus is going to look like. So,
Right. A lot of creativity.
yes, sir.
Absolutely. Putting learning into action.
Right, 21st century skills.
Absolutely. Well, again, I've been here with Marion County School Superintendent Laura Schlosser. This has been Gary White for Central Kentucky Television.
Thank you.